Hey everyone, I am here. This is Melanie Allen here, Emerald Ambassador, here with Rachel Wagner. We do our 100 PV VIP call together every month. And this month we have Brooke Hemingway, which is my total inspiration. So we're so excited to have you here, Brooke. Brooke is always on the leaders board, and shout out to Brooke because this week she's #1, no surprise. She is a Diamond Senior Ruby. She's an RN. She's a fitness instructor, and she's absolutely amazing. And we are so honored to have her on tonight to share her top tips with us. And Brooke, I'm just going to let you go ahead and take over and take it away. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
There you go.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you for having me. And you guys are all amazing too. So we all are amazing, and we all have wonderful gifts and skills and things that we bring to this. So I'm sorry on my phone, my computer, I just went to turn it on and it's on this eternal update and it just won't clear out. And I was like, crap. So I'm glad that my phone is working well tonight. So I'm happy to be here with you guys tonight, especially at a time of challenge, because I feel like that's when I really dig into my strengths. And I feel like that's when we really have to dig into our strengths. And we all know that there are challenging times right now, but maybe there are some things that I can share with you tonight that will help you to keep moving forward. And that's kind of going to be the theme about what I'm going to talk about, is just keep moving forward. One of my favorite quotes is by Walt Disney, and he says, "Around here, we just keep moving forward." And so that's what I want you guys to think about doing in your business. Even through the struggles, you can move forward. So, my story, if you aren't familiar with it, because I love to hear people's stories, and I don't know everybody's story. So I'll just briefly tell you my story. I joined Plexus in September of 2015 because I was a tired mom. I had just had my 5th baby. I was struggling with postpartum blues, low energy, headaches, bloating, sugar cravings, a Diet Coke habit that I couldn't kick because I was exhausted. I would get that mid-morning, mid-afternoon crash, and I was a healthy person. Or I was that person that people looked at and thought, wow, she's so healthy and so fit, like she's got everything together. But they didn't know that behind closed doors, like I was kind of falling apart. I was a hot mess. And I just held it together really well on the surface, and I could turn my energy on and go teach a class and be amazing, but then I would come home and I want a nap right afterwards, or a Diet Coke. And so I just finally decided, you know what, I'm super skeptical. I really believe in implementation, but I'm just going to give it a try. So I called my friend Amy up. I signed up as an ambassador on the spot. I just did whatever she told me to do. She told me to be an ambassador. So I was one of those easy girls, like didn't ask her how much it was. I just said, just sign me up. And she got me signed up, and I started the products. And about 2 to 3 weeks later, I was feeling really quite good. I was kind of a fast change. At least the biggest things, my mood, my energy, and my cravings all changed really early on. And so my friend Amy, which I know you guys all know, she said, oh, you should put a post up on Facebook. And I was like, well, I don't really think anybody's going to see, because I have like 150 friends and I never post on Facebook, but okay, I'll do it. So I took a picture of me with my then like 8-week-old baby, and it's kind of circulating around Facebook again now. Like I laugh at that because I'm like, oh, it looks like me now, but that was 2 years ago because I have my baby number 6 now. But I did a post, and I did get a handful of customers right off that first post. I didn't even know what it meant to go silver, so I didn't even try to sign anybody up as an ambassador at that time. And so that's how my journey began. I was really one of those people that started only for the products, had no interest or knowledge of the business, didn't know what I was walking into, but I was eternally grateful to not be in a hole as a new mom. And so that just got me passionate about learning about the products and helping other people. So I started to share, and then I remember starting to learn about the compensation plan my 2nd month in Plexus and thinking, okay, well, maybe I could be a Ruby ambassador. That would be really cool. If I could be a Ruby and I could make about $30,000 a year. I was working part-time as a nurse before I had my 5th child, and I thought that'd be nice to replace that part-time income that I was making as a nurse, just to feel like as a woman that I was contributing to our household. That's always just kind of been something important to me because I'm just an independent person. And even though I didn't need to do that because my husband is a physician, I just wanted to. And so my only goal was ever to be a Ruby ambassador. So I'm standing before you now as a Diamond Senior Ruby ambassador that started as an accidental business, but very quickly realized what an amazing opportunity this was. And so I was blessed to be joined by some great people fairly early on. Emily Gibson, my sister Lee, Christy Jex, my sister-in-law Bonnie, just some people that joined me, same thing for the products. And I was able to become a diamond in 12 months. So my journey was fast. Now, I don't share that with you to be like, oh gosh, you know, if your journey is slower than that, there's something wrong with what you're doing, because that's not it at all. I feel like it was just the right time. It was the Lord's time. He wanted that to happen for me, and he wanted to raise up all these other people. And so I just showed up and I was willing. And I feel like that's the first step to having momentum and to building a strong business, is that you have to show up. You have to show up for your business, and you've got to show up every day, and you've got to show up every week, and you've got to show up every month. And you don't have the luxury of tuning out just when you want to. Like right now, for example, you've got to show up. You know, Heavenly Father's given you this amazing opportunity. You have all the training, all the abilities inside of you that you need to do this, but you have to show up because nobody could do that for you. And so when I decided to show up, he just kept opening doors for me. And he opens these doors for you because, you know, you're showing up and you're doing your part. I've got a child that decided to play the piano. Sorry. Hold on just a second. I'm so sorry. That's mom life, right? It's so funny because right before I started this, I was like, okay, guys, no piano practice while mom's on the phone, and they go and start. But anyway, first lesson, show up, okay? Because you're the only person that can change the course of your business. So this is really a hard pill to swallow, I think, sometimes, because my last 2 months, I had a baby 2 months ago. And so my last 2 months, I haven't really been prospecting. I haven't really been doing my IPA. I haven't really been doing, you know, those normal activities that I do. And so my personal enrollments and growth has slowed down. So the only person that can change that is me. And I'm a huge believer in leading by example. So if you want your team to sponsor people, you've got to sponsor people. If you want your team to grow, show them what you're doing. Show them that you're enrolling customers, that you're enrolling ambassadors, that you're helping people go silver, you're helping people go gold, because that example speaks volumes. People don't really care what you say. They care what you do. And leading by example is one of the most you can do to create momentum. Now, does that mean you have to be this crazy like rock star that sponsors 10 or 15 or 20 people every month? No, it doesn't matter. To me, it means going silver every month. Anything. At least going silver every month. And was that a question? Oh, I thought that was some question. To me, that means going silver every single month. And when you do that, you are going to keep moving forward because you're going to find those people that want to do the business with you. What you also need to be smart about if you want to create momentum is to not be this person that is only really looking at their level ones. You've got to be looking beyond your level ones and be looking at your level twos as well. Oh, that's what I call, lovely children. I love them so much. Yeah, there we go. Out you go. You've got to be looking at your level twos. I feel really strongly about the concept of taprooting, and maybe you've heard me talk about this before, but if you're not familiar with what taprooting it is, it's basically looking through your level ones at their ambassadors and tapping into the potential that you have in your level twos. And when you do this, you typically will create a fear of missing out in your level ones if they don't keep up, or you help your level ones to see the potential in the business. And so I've been sharing this story lately because I don't want people to think, oh my gosh, Brooke is just such a rock star. She must be sponsoring 10 or 15 people every month. No, I go silver. That's what I do. And I share with people the opportunity from the very beginning. So I have about 30 level ones in my reentry, I'm very close to going emerald in my reentry, and I just have 30 level ones. I don't have 100. But what I've done is I've worked with who I have, and I've looked at who they're sponsoring, and I've seen potential in some of those level twos that are incredible, and I'm helping those level twos to grow really strong businesses. So if you are willing to be inconvenienced and work just a little bit harder to work with those level twos, because I had to be inconvenienced to do that, right? I'm in more 3-way or 4-way messages to help these people get going. I work really closely with them their first month or two to help them get on their feet and grow a strong business. And then after that first month or two, I kind of start to pull back and give them a little space, and I see what they do. I see if they're going to, keep going, if they're going to keep growing, because you want people to be responsible for their own business. So you're not going to do everything for them. But that first month or two, I feel like is so important to be very involved and engaged in your ones and twos that say they want to work the business, and you give them the opportunity. And if they show up, you keep working with them. If they don't show up, you just love them, but you don't have to keep dragging them along and pulling them along, because they're showing you by their actions whether they want it or not. So definitely be looking through your ones. And my example is I have a level one that joined at the end of May as I was on my way to Musha Key, like literally at the airport, joined me. And she said, well, I'm not going to post on Facebook because I think I'm going to get some backlash from my community, and I'm too shy to do that. And I knew her, and I knew that she had a lot of anxiety about that, so I didn't push her. She said, but I'm going to go silver because my sister-in-law, my mom, and one of my best friends are going to join. And so she went silver right away, but I had her connect me to every person that she enrolled. I just wanted to meet them. And I was able to connect with her sister-in-law, Phyllis. And Phyllis had really fast results. Like in the first week or two, was in love with the products and would not stop talking about them. And she has a large network and has lived in the same town her whole life. She's a nurse. Her husband's a firefighter. People know, love, and trust them. And she has since May, well, really she started sharing in June, has about 200 people under her. So and about 80 of those are her own level ones. And so you can see how if I had sat back and been like, it's okay, Barbie, you don't want to share, I don't want to push you or anything, and just kind of let her do her thing and never been connected to Phyllis, I wouldn't have almost 500 people on my reentry in the last few months. And it's because I was willing to be inconvenienced on my way to Musha Key to meet Phyllis, get connected with her, and help her start her messages. So be involved in that sense, because you might have a lot of gold sitting underneath you. Get to know people. This is a relationship business. Get to know them. Be involved in their business in the beginning, and really help them to get off to a strong start. If you can get people excited and off to a strong start, so both those ladies went fast start gold. If you can get them excited and off to a strong start, they're going to stick with you more often than not, and they're going to end up being a big, strong business builder for you. So that helps tremendously with momentum. I feel like also the other thing that is so fundamental is if you guys sit down and you're totally honest with yourself, every single one of you, do you spend 30 to 60 minutes a day just doing straight up IPA, just messaging new people, just doing your reach outs for the day? Can you honestly say that 5 to 6 days a week, you're spending 30 to 60 minutes doing that? If you can't say yes to that, then you're not quite yet taking your business seriously. It's so easy to get distracted and to be a squirrel. Like, it's just so easy to get on Facebook or get on Messenger, especially if you're a yellow color personality, because I have a lot of yellow in me too. It's really easy to get on Messenger and just be helpful and answer people's questions all day and help them sponsor people. And it's so easy to do that because that's a safe, warm, comfortable place. But those are not IPA activities. Your IPA activities that are going to help to keep you in growth mode and keep you in momentum are your personal IPA activities. So to me, the only things that qualify as IPA IPA are reaching out to new people, that you're doing follow-up with people that have not yet pulled the trigger, but that have expressed interest in the past, and inviting them to a sip and see, a business event, a health and wellness event, inviting them to try a sample, asking them what's holding them back, just those kind of things. The other thing that I feel goes along with IPA is relationship building. So making new contacts and starting to build a relationship with them. Anytime I friend somebody on Facebook, I immediately send them a message, like right after I click friend, because I know that they're going to be like, who is this person that's friending me? This person at all. And so I will send them a message, and I don't say anything about Plexus. I just say, hey, my name is Brooke. I met you through, such and such a group, or we have mutual friends. I just wanted to connect. I loved your profile. You have such a cute family. I'm a mom of 6. I live in Hawaii, and I just love connecting with other moms. And I'll just send a simple message like that. If they never respond to me and they don't even look at it, I unfriend them within 5 days, because they're not somebody that's engaging. And you don't want your Facebook friends list to be filled up with people that aren't engaging with you, because that hurts your algorithm. That actually makes your posts less seen. And so I'm just looking to strike up a conversation to get to know people. I'm not looking to like push Plexus down their throat right away. I literally just start having a back and forth conversation. And pretty much the majority of the time, these people end up coming to me because they'll be curious about who I am. They'll start watching my feed. I put them on a separate Facebook friends list that I can access on my phone, so that I'm interacting with my non-Plexus people more often, so that, once I'm interacting with them before I post, and then I post, and then I know they're seeing what I post. I also am very cognizant, and you should be very cognizant, it doesn't look like an infomercial. So if I have on my list 2 to 3 days a week, I'm going to make new friends, and I'm going to message new friends. Those 2 to 3 days a week, I may not even post specifically about Plexus. I might do a post that's like talking about Plexus, but I never say the word Plexus. Yesterday, I did a post about how my baby pooped and peed all over me while I was on a business call, and like how, it was kind of hilarious, but how I was so grateful to work from home and be there with my babies. So it was like, I didn't say Plexus, but that might intrigue somebody, like, I wonder what she does if she gets to stay home with her babies. So if I'm going to do friending 2 to 3 times a week, I want to make sure that my page is not like a Plexus graphic, a Plexus post, like all this stuff, because people found that's all they see. They may not accept my friend request. But if they see me and my life and Plexus sprinkled in, they're going to accept my friend request, and I can start to chip. So that's how I keep expanding my network. That's how I keep enrolling people. I'm doing that with a girl tomorrow. I'm enrolling her. I've just gotten to know her via Facebook. I actually met her in person first. She was vacationing here on Kauai, and I was just being friendly and getting to know someone. She's a really neat lady, and she called me up today. We talked about her son, and she's interested in the business too. So you just never know. Just be friendly. Strike up a conversation, and you'll see your momentum will truly change. Any questions so far? I feel like I'm just talking. Like it's always so, odd to just be talking and looking at yourself, especially on your phone. It's like, but I feel like that is definitely the way to move forward. Is you have to keep expanding your network. You do have to keep friending people, and it's not a chore. It really is enjoyable to get to know people and to build these friendships. I think one thing that holds people back is they think, oh my gosh, that seems so awkward, or that seems like a chore. But I've made some really fantastic people that I never would have known if I didn't get outside of my shell. So I'm going to talk for a minute. What I did want to share was how you can get through this challenge with the new back office. And we had a call yesterday on my team about how to deal with this and how to keep moving forward, because there's this general feeling that people are just kind of holding off. Like they're pulling back. They're not really doing their IPA, not really sharing because they're afraid to sign up. They're afraid to get people on the website and people to have an error message. And maybe some of you can relate to that. Any of you? This is actually the worst could pull back, the very worst time. You want to know why? Because it's November and then it's December. You know what happens after December? January through April. Those are like the best growing months in Plexus. So if you are not doing your IPA and you're not planting seeds and you're not forming relationships and making new chips come January, you're not going to have anything to harvest. You're going to be like, what's wrong with my business? Why am I not growing? Because you didn't plant the seeds before that time came. But also, guys, there is nothing to fear. Honestly, if you're enrolling people correctly over the phone, giving that personal customer service, if you're doing that, there is nothing to fear. And the way that I'm approaching this, like with my friend that I'm enrolling tomorrow, is I said, hey, Tara, you know, we just got a state-of-the-art upgrade on our website and our back office system where all of our reports are. And as with any huge technology update, there are going to be a few hiccups and glitches. And I want to make sure that you have the best possible experience getting enrolled. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to call you at this time. I'm going to walk you through the website. And you know what? If you prefer, you can just give me all that information over the phone and I will fill it all out for you. But if we have any glitches or anything, you know, any error messages, anything like that, don't worry about it because we'll get you taken care of. So I am up front telling them, hey, we might have a worry about it. I'm going to take care of you. Everything is going to be fine. Now, if I prepare somebody for that and they get an error message, are they going to freak out? No, because I already told them. Just like die off. If I don't tell anybody what to expect when they start their product and then they get a headache and they have some diarrhea, like if I don't prepare them, they're going to freak out. At the time, hey, you might have some GI upset, some headaches, some, you know, temporary changes in your cravings and your appetite, whatever. Like if I prepare them, they're like, oh yeah, that's that thing Brooke was talking about. So don't be, I'm going to use the word lazy. Don't be lazy and just send them instructions on how to enroll from your website because you are most assuredly going to get a message that they had an error or something like that. And you know, 80% of the time it's fine, but that 20% of the time that it's not, that might be that time that you just sent into your website. So prepare them and everything will be fine, guys. Work your IPA as if your life depended on it right now because you never know what's coming around the corner. You never know when there's a special coming. You never know who's going to join you. But if you're not planting the seeds, you're not going to be able to reap that harvest and you're going to regret it. So I am pushing hard for people to just work as if business was as usual because that's what I did from the very beginning of my business. I joined when the first back office change happened. I joined during that apocalypse. I was a silver on my way to gold and I just pretended like nothing was wrong. And I gave my customers and my ambassadors top-notch customer service. If they had an issue, I gave them $10 off their next order. If they had a serious issue, maybe I sent them a free product. Maybe I paid for their shipping. I did whatever I had to do to keep them happy and keep them on their products because I knew that that was important to my growth. And look at what happened. I kept growing. I have loyalty on my team. People stay with me because they know I'm invested in their progress. Now, I think there was a question down here. I don't want to ignore those. How do you get people started so quickly? Like what tasks do you give them? And so I feel like you just got to be super natural and chill. And you got to use terms that they understand. If they don't understand silver, it means nothing to them. I don't talk to people about going silver. When I enroll them over the phone, I say, hey, you know, as we've been talking about these products and the health benefits, is there anybody that comes to my benefit from Plexus? Well, everybody knows somebody. So they're going to give you a name or two or three. And you're going to say, you know, great, I'd really love to help them. Just have an opportunity to check it out. If I sent you a little message, do you think you could just copy and paste that and send it to them and see if they're interested in finding out more? And typically they'll do that. So I'll send them a message that's really simple, and they'll copy and paste that and send it out. So I help them get started that way. I also, if they seem to have any sort of interest at all, I will tell them immediately about Fast Start Gold. I'll tell them about silver and I'll tell them about Fast Start Gold. Those are for people that do express a little bit of interest in sharing. The other way that I get people to share that have not expressed interest in sharing is I'll just ask them, hey, I'm really excited. I'm just looking to help as many people as possible because of how this has changed my life. I'm wondering if you could give me a shout out on Facebook just for introducing you to these products. Share my story. Share what it's done for me. Because they don't have a story yet. They haven't even gotten their products. They haven't started. But they know my story and share with them, hey, I want to help as many people as possible because I was really struggling before this. And so it's just like anything, guys. It's like doing cold messages, like getting people to events. It's the law of averages. If I ask 10 people to post on Facebook, 1 or 2 is going to say yes. So I don't take it as rejection. I just know that those are my. So the more people I ask, the more yeses I'm going to get. Also, the more no's I'm going to get, but I'm going to get more yeses too. And so that's how I get people to share early. I also send them a video toolbox right away because I want them to learn about the products, be excited about starting the products. And in there, I also have Melissa Eichenhorst Learn While You Earn, or Earn While You Learn video, because I feel like that's like a nice simple one that just kind of breaks down how often you can earn a little bit of money while you're learning and while you're starting. So you could make your own little video like that. But I feel like that's a good way to get people started off, is get them watching some videos. And then I really believe in plugging people into events. So if I have a new ambassador, a new customer, and I have a health and wellness or a business event coming up, I will just invite them. I'll say, hey, if it's a business event and I know they haven't been interested in the business at all, they've kind of like said no, I'll still reach out to them and I'll say, hey, Andrea, I know you're not interested in the business at all, and that is totally fine. But I'm wondering if you might want to attend this event and just be a fly on the wall, give me some feedback on what you think about the business. And also, you might know somebody that would be really interested in this opportunity and the ability to work from home. Could I send you an invitation? And so I can still invite them and acknowledge that they haven't been interested because maybe something changed. You never know. Maybe they are interested now. Maybe they told you no 4 months ago and that scared you off, so you've never asked them again. But maybe now they're loving their products and they're thinking, well, gosh, I'd at least like to get them paid for. Or maybe I'd like to make $500 a month so I can put my entire family on them and have a little extra money. So our job is to show up. Our job is to invite, and that's it. And then we provide a third-party validation by our sponsor, by inviting them to an event. But if you're not doing the inviting, you're not going to grow. If you're not doing the inviting, you're not going to grow. And activities and see, am I inviting? Am I teaching my team members to invite? If they're afraid to invite, am I giving them the wording of what to say? Because that's what holds people back a lot of the time. They don't know what to say. And most of the time they won't ask you. They just won't do it. So I just do it for them, assuming they don't know what to say. When I put a post up about an event, I tell them about the event, and then I say, here's what you might say to invite somebody. So you just make it easy for people to duplicate. It's all just about duplication. You provide the blueprint, and then they invite and you invite. And that's really, it's simple, guys. It is so simple. The activities that will grow your business are so simple. And I know you've heard all this before, but are you doing it? Are you doing it 30 to 60 minutes a day? Everything else is fluff. Even your Facebook posts are fluff. Because the truth is, after your first month or 2 or 3 of posting about Plexus on Facebook, do you think you're bringing in hordes and hordes of people signing up just from your posts? You're not. Very important. It is, because you're educating people, you're showing people what's possible, you're inspiring them. So you do need to post, but that's not what's going to keep you growing. You have to then reach out. So I guess that's kind of what I wanted to share, and just that little tip to help you keep growing right now is to keep doing your IPA and then prepare people before they go to your website. And if at all possible, be on the phone with them and just take their information and do it for them, so they don't have to get frustrated. Because honestly, in my mind, there is absolutely no reason at all to be slowing down right now. Like, it really is just business as usual. This is just a little tech problem. And if there's a problem, guess what? It can always be fixed. It might take a little bit more time, but it can always be fixed. Like my husband says, he's an ER doctor. He says, nobody's dying. It's vitamins. It's a website. Nobody's dying. What do I say in a cold message? Are you wondering about just like reaching out to a complete stranger, or is it someone that I've already established a relationship with and I want to share Plexus with?
Well, in your IPA, do you like cold message? Like when you say do your IPA, do you talking about just cold messaging or?
So if I already have a relationship with them, it's not a stranger that I just friended. Like, I talked about how when I friend string, then I build a relationship. That's different, okay? But people that have already been my friends that are in my feed, people that I know, and have somewhat of a relationship with, out to them specifically about Plexus. It could depend on the person. But here's an example. I might say, yes, I'm just reaching out today because I've been thinking about you. And I don't know if you've seen my posts about Plexus and what it's done for me, but basically it's been a lifesaver. I have more energy. I sleep better. I don't have my digestive issues and my headaches, and I don't have the anxiety I used to have. I'm wondering if you'd be open to watching a video or trying and finding out more about this. So it's like 3 sentences. Hey, Jess, I thought of you. I don't know if you've seen my post. It's done for me. I'm wondering if you'd be open to watching a video or trying a sample, or you could just do one or the other. I'm wondering if you'd be open to try and giving me some feedback on what you think about it. Because you could just ask them, or you could ask them, I'm wondering if you could help me out and try a sample and just give me some feedback on it. So it's just that, are you open to sort of question? If it's someone that I have a relationship with and I've been thinking that, man, they really need to do the business. Like, they would be incredible. They would love the product, but they would be incredible with the business. And would say, hey, Jessica, I know that you've been watching my journey and you know what Plexus has done for me. And I cannot help but think about how incredible you would be at doing this business with me. You're charismatic. You love people. You're smart. You're a go-getter. And I just could see amazing things happening for you. Are you open to just talking on the phone for 15 minutes tomorrow about what this opportunity could do for you? So I'm giving them, basically, I'm telling them, you're this, 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 and this. I'm complimenting them sincerely on the things that I think are incredible about them. And I'm asking them to give me 15 minutes of their time to talk about Plexus, just to introduce it. And you can also add in that, like, I know this probably, I like this approach. I know this probably doesn't interest you, but I was thinking you might know other people that would be interested in this. So you can always throw that in. Like, if they've been someone that's like, no, not interested, you could reach out to them and say, hey, I know you're not interested in the business opportunity that Plexus has to offer, but I feel like I've never told you why I really do what I do. Would you mind if I shared with you why I do what I do? Because I feel like you might know somebody that could relate to this. And so I'm not asking them, hey, can I share the business with you? I'm asking them, can I share why I do what I do with you? Because you might know somebody that this resonates with. So you're just looking for an in and a way to share your story. Stories are what connect people. Stories are what move people to join you. And if they say, yeah, sure, I'd love to know why you're doing this crazy Plexus thing that you do, share with them, not in like a 10-minute voice message, maybe in like a 1 or 2 minute voice message, or something that they can read and nice. Share with them why you do what you do, and then wait for them to respond. If they don't respond, ask, does any of that resonate with you? Can you relate to any of that? And if they say, no, I really can't, not at all, then you say, that's totally fine, but I'm wondering if you know anybody that might relate to that. Or they'll say, yeah, actually, I can relate to that. I hate it. I hate my job. I'm away from my kids all the time. I'm exhausted all the time. And that gives you an in to start talking again about the products or the business. So it really is just about, making it simple, making it conversational, and asking them if they're open to learning more. I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Yeah, I think
That
that's
was
it.
a fabulous question, Ashley. Brooke, I would love to know what your IPA looks like because it changes, right? Like, I mean, right? Okay, yeah, it does change. Okay.
Yeah, it changes. I mean, I'm not sponsoring like crazy anymore. Like 3, 4, some months 4, occasionally 5, but usually 3. And these last couple months, it's been like 2 to 3. So it's been slower because I had my baby. I kind of pulled back a little bit. That's normal. But my IPA at this point is a lot of relationship building, because I have gone through a lot of my Facebook market and my warm market. So now I'm working on building relationships with people that I've reached out to in the past that have said no. So I really have more focused friends lists so that I can interact in meaningful ways with their posts. And I can interact in meaningful ways in Messenger. If I see something's going on with their life, I'll message them about that and just kind of start that relationship going. But making a lot of new friends, like somebody that I connected with at the beach the other day, made friends with them. I'm interacting with them in Messenger. So I do a lot of that. And I count that as my IPA, because the conversation most often turns around into plexus. But I do still reach out to people and do follow-ups. I don't necessarily do 30 to 40 a week anymore. I would say it's more like 20 a week for me. But if you're newer in the business and you have a large warm market and you still have a lot of people to work through, the number of people that you reach out to is going to depend on your growth. It really is. So the more people you reach out to in a meaningful way, the more you're going to grow. Now at this point, I'm developing leaders. And so I'm doing more duplication, helping my level 1s grow strong, helping my level 2s grow strong. So I spend more time in that box than I did before. But if you're a silver, gold, senior gold, ruby, senior ruby, emerald, you're still really looking for prospects. You're still really looking for your own personal business builders and people to work this with you. When you get to where I am, you're still doing that, but maybe at a different pace. I am now looking for more quality over quantity. I'm looking for people that I want to work with, and I'm finding more of those people that want to work the business because I'm putting it out there more. So if you're not putting the business out there and you're not talking conversations with people about the business, that's a big mistake, because you're not going to find business builders if you never talk about the business. And it's going to be uncomfortable. But every day, do something scary. Every day, do something uncomfortable, because that's how you become comfortable with it. And that's how you become comfortable talking about the business. It's not awkward anymore. And then I have people tell me after the fact, like, wow, you're the most not weird network marketer I've ever talked to. Like, you're not a weird, like, fanatical network marketer. I think I could do this because you're normal. And I'm like, yeah, you could do this because we're normal people. And so you only get comfortable with it and normal about it when you practice, and you do it a lot. So just practice and get normal so that people can feel like, okay, they're not like super fanatical, weird, rah-rah. They're just normal, and I can do it too. So
Hey, Brooke, I have a question for you. So I just got back from Jewel training, and we're talking about like storytelling and like telling people your story when they ask you what do you do. So just on that note, like, what do you say if somebody asks you, what do you do?
So I have a flight attendant that I enrolled this way. So we were at the back of the plane, and it was the end of the flight. And I'm actually going to have to end after this because I have my weekly accountability calls after. That's a good note to end on. So I just started asking her questions about herself. And when I asked her questions about herself, naturally she was going to ask me questions back about myself. Read How to Win Friends and Influence People. You'll learn. It's a great trick. So she asked me, well, what do you guys do? Because you live in Hawaii. And I said, I work for a health and wellness company that helped me to get rid of my anxiety, my sugar cravings, my nightly ice cream habit, my headaches, and my terrible sleep. And she was like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I have the same issues. And I was like, no way. I was like, I think I might have a sample. We were at the back of the plane, so we had to wait forever to get off the plane. I was like, let me just take a look and see if I have a sample. It's really yummy. And so I pulled out a sample. I gave it to her. I said, if you want, I could send you some more information. Are you on Facebook? And she's like, yeah. So we pulled out our phones and we Facebook friended each other. That night, I didn't wait. That night, when I got home, I sent her a message and I said, hey, Corinne, it was so fun to connect with you. I hope you enjoy your sample. She had already tried it. I hope you enjoyed your sample. Listen, I'd love to send you some information about how this could help you with what you're struggling with, but I'm not going to hound you and be that crazy lady. So if you want some information, just let me know. And she wrote back. I kind of did a little giggle emoji, and she wrote back. So it was just really natural. But that's what I say. That's my elevator speech. I say, I work for a health and wellness company from home, for a company that helped me with A, B, C, and D. Because people can relate to those things. Think about the most relatable parts of your story. Think about the parts that most people are going to relate to. I don't use disease names because most people aren't going to relate to that. Maybe you have an amazing Crohn's story, but if you start talking about Crohn's and they don't have Crohn's, they're not going to relate. So make it relatable. Use those big ticket items that most people are struggling with, because they're going to be drawn to that. So that's what I do. And it works pretty well.
It's amazing.
Thank you, Brooke. We appreciate you so much and your time.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. We're so honored to have you on tonight. Took a ton of notes. And
thank you guys.
We'll let you go to your accountability call, but thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much. All right.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good night.
Good night.